Update. Am I the asshole for respecting my late wife's wishes about keeping her family out? Thank you everyone for all the lovely comments and support. I was really worn down with this whole ordeal, so all your input was so very appreciated. There was a lot of you that expressed your concerns about what my wife's family's intentions were and warned me about taking precautions to keep my daughter safe. I have taken these into consideration and have made steps to ensure they have no access to any information that could disclose our location. And yes, in the end I did decide it was best to cut off all contact, not only with my wife's parents but her sister too. I tried to get through to her many times about why I'd like to respect my wife's call on this since she knew her family best and what they did. Despite all the reassurance that her parents have changed, she still refused to actually say what went down, so that was not at all convincing for me. Once I blocked them all, I was getting calls from different numbers the following days. I sent one final message to her sister stating they're never allowed near me or my daughter, and if they ever tried to come harass us I will get authorities involved. Since then it was radio silence for the last couple weeks, but I decided to play it safe a few days ago and changed my phone number. I've also deleted my Facebook since I don't use it that often, but have put my other social media accounts on private. Got many great suggestions from many of you about how to make sure they have absolutely no access to my daughter, so I really appreciate that. I've saved a few of these comments in case I need some extra tips in the future as my daughter gets older and starts school. Since I last posted and have cut contact, I feel like I can finally breathe. You have no idea how stressful and draining the whole thing was for me, so really, thank you all for the help. I've been more at peace putting this all behind me and focusing on my beautiful little girl. Just wanted to leave this update since I know there was a lot of concern about how this would all play out. Thanks again, internet strangers. You can tell you did the right thing because they were already bringing a lot of bad energy without them being in yours or your daughter's life yet. And now never. You have no idea how stressful and draining the whole thing was for me, so really. Please tell me you have a will and a plan if, God forbid, anything happens to you. These people have shown themselves to be untrustworthy in concerns to your child. I remember reading your original post and am happy to hear that you worked it out. Based on the way your SIL was deflecting the question of what happened, I think the reason why your late wife went NC, and why she never told you, would absolutely justify keeping your child away from them. The possibilities are endless but all progressively worse. If you know if the authorities were involved or other people in your late wife's life that would have an idea, it might be worth it to look into it, get a pie just so you have that peace of mind. Regardless, you made the right decision and best wishes. Sending love to you and your daughter during this time. It's really sad but good at the same time. My son's father's family had a similar situation. I wanted them all nowhere near my son, they're sick people, but my son's grandmother refused to listen. Continued to take and post pictures of my son on social media after repeatedly stating it made me uncomfortable. Trying to pressure me into letting her babysit at their house without me present, etc. It was hard, but they were all threatened the same way, and ultimately I also got rid of social media due to it. You're doing the right thing. So glad to hear this. Wishing all the best for you and your little one. It's truly a shame that you've had to go to such great lengths, but as the saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Your wife knew those people best, and you need to trust her. Don't let your guard down. Such a great update to read. You've done the right thing. If their intentions were pure, they would have discussed why your wife left them and what they had done to atone for it. The sister avoiding the subject is a huge warning. I'm happy you can now be assured your daughter will be safe and you can relax. Absolutely the right call. If that was how they behaved, completely tromping over your boundaries and pressuring and manipulating you when on their best behavior, it's unnerving to consider how their behavior could have deteriorated if, when they got comfortable. So glad you're taking your own and your child's safety so seriously and doing right by your late wife. I do remember your original post, and this turned out how I had hoped. Nothing ABOLUSTELY disgustingly inappropriate or crazy took place. You did what was best for you. These people have no conception of boundaries, and it was best you not open yourself up to any possibility of grandparent rights and whatnot as far as visitation goes. You are honoring your wife's wishes. You're keeping your child safe. Do stay safe and focus on your family. Good luck and best wishes for your future moving toward and upward. Good job protecting your daughter and honoring your wife. You're a great dad and I wish you the best of luck going forward. When your daughter is finally school age, you will have to officially notify the school about people who are not allowed to pick her up. This is a common way that blocked family tries to contact, or even abduct, minors they have been prevented from seeing. You have no idea how stressful and draining the whole thing was for me. Take care of yourself, physically and mentally. It's somewhat common for residual stress to linger or be hidden and come out later. Good job. Since the sister wouldn't say what happened, it is not safe to allow access to your daughter. You did the right thing. Just chiming in to lend my support. You are absolutely doing the right thing. Like your wife, I have an unimaginably bad thing in my past that my mother inflicted that I pretty much don't talk about. I'm NC with my mom. But I do talk about how I was molested and my mom didn't believe me. That's how awful the other thing is. I've never told anyone all of the details. Obviously, I can't know your wife's trauma, but when it's bad enough that you have to ignore that it happened on some level, just to get through your life, that means it's fucking bad. I don't believe that anyone makes up that level of trauma, even if they lie about the details, or they're not forthcoming. So proud of you for protecting your baby girl and yourself. Also for putting your foot down with your late wife's side of the family. And I'm so sorry for the passing of your wife. Clapping hands medium dark skin tone, clapping hands medium dark skin tone, thumbs up medium dark skin tone, raising hands medium dark skin tone. We love a happy update. Good for you for standing your ground. Your wife didn't want them around low for a reason. I'm proud of you for honoring her wishes. You're a great dad. I wish you and your baby girl so much love and happiness. Always glad to see a positive update. I am glad you have respected your late wife's wishes and refused her parents' involvement in your child's life. I wish nothing but peace and happiness in your life. I'm relieved and happy for you. The fact that no one would share the actual reason your wife cut contact shows how bloody awful it was, and that they know full well that if you knew, you would make your own decision and it would not be in their favor. I think most of us jump to conclusions on what the reason might be, and ultimately if we are correct, there's no way you'd let them near your daughter. Wishing you both all the best. Absolute chills when I read that they backed off when you said you'd get authorities involved. Good work, Op. Not to be completely morbid. But please make sure you have a will so that she is not raised by them if something ever were to happen to you. Wishing y'all all the very best. As someone who has cut contact with my adoptive family, I would suggest telling your friends, daycare providers, teachers, workplace, etc., that they are not to give out your contact information to anyone, even if they claim to be family. Sometimes family will hound you through all kinds of weird ways, and sometimes random people on your life, not knowing better, will believe the sob story they're given and try to help these family members reunite with you. Anyone with access to your contact info needs to be told that it's not to be given out. Be very clearly that this is a matter of safety for you and your child. I am glad you blocked her sister as well. She had no respect for her late sister's wishes. I'm very glad this has worked out. They were using that lack of knowledge and the manipulation tactics your wife mentioned to see your daughter. I suspect your sister also played a role, but because she was also a kid could only be held so accountable, though the fact she still talks and defends the parents tell me otherwise. I think it is important to know what happened to your wife. Asking them as a show of good faith that they changed was a great step, and they refused. But I think you should do as some suggested, as finding the reports if they exist or getting a PI. Depending on the information, you may need to take additional precautions for your daughter. As well as let the godparents know so they don't think it's just an overreaction. I'm so glad you've done what you have to so you can protect yourself and your daughter. Please continue to be safe and happy as you can, and once again so sorry for your loss. Good to see that everything worked out for you in a way. Let's hope it'll be like this going forward. But for now, concentrate on yourself and your little girl. Good luck and stay strong. One last thing though, in case you haven't done it already, make sure that your daughter is taken care of, or at least gets into the care of someone that is not your family. Even though you've cut contact, I'm not sure they wouldn't contact your wife's family in case something happened to you. Coming from someone estranged from her own family, thank you so much for listening to your late wife. Even though she didn't give you details, she told you everything that you needed to know in order to protect your daughter, and yourself, from the sound of it. I'm so sorry for your loss, and I wish you the best going forward. You did the right thing. Best of luck to you. Thank you for the update. Many love to you and your daughter. I hope you share a beautiful life filled with love and laughter. You are a wonderful dad. Your wife knew her family, so honoring her wishes is the best way to both honor her and protect your daughter. With a dad like you, your daughter will grow up to be happy and healthy. Wishing you sunny days ahead. Breathe easy. I was almost sick reading your first post. The bad juju just rolled off of it. Those people did something so horrible to your wife that she didn't speak of it, nor does her sister. It sounds how most people talk about their abusers who have done the unthinkable. Not the asshole, and good for you taking precautions. Protect that baby, and God bless you. I remember your first post, and I didn't chime in, because so many others provided such great suggestions and advice, I couldn't add anything to that. I commend you for putting your daughter's well-being first. I'm sure the guilt-tripping was unbelievably stressful. Good for you for doing the right thing. I'm sorry you lost your wife. Life is difficult enough without having to worry about your wife's family. Your daughter is lucky to have such a caring dad. I wish you both a happy life. Peace, happiness and strength to you for your current time and for your many years to come as a good father to your daughter. Lot of love to you and your daughter. I don't have any advice for you, but I know you will be a great parent. Please put a guardianship in place so that if anything ever happens to you she doesn't end up with them folded hands. Sorry, saw that you have one in place. Wishing you and your daughter the best. I'm still trying to get a read on the situation. The sister makes it sound like it was horrendous, and, not that bad, all at the same time. The fact they won't tell you. I'd get the restraining order anyway. I have no clue if that's possible. This is not legal advice. Wow. I missed this one, but went back and read it. I thought it was funny how the sister wanted you to have empathy for them losing a child. Like, they lost their daughter 16 years ago, you just lost your wife. Good Lord. You did the right thing, sir. And I'm so sorry for your loss. If you haven't, I'd consider making a police report of the incidents, or perhaps you can get an affidavit or something made up. IANAL. But my thoughts are just something official that is a record of these incidents happening, so if something else happens down the line you have something you can point at and say, see? This has been going on for duration. Crying happy tears for you, Op. Your wife is surely smiling down on her little family thinking how proud she is of you. I wish you nothing but peace from here. You deserve all the good that's coming your way. I'm so glad you feel better about the situation now. You're an amazing dad, and as long as you always try to do what you think is in your daughter's best interest, especially while she's too young to make those choices herself, I doubt you'll go wrong. All the best for the future. So glad you're out of that situation now. Going no contact isn't something people do on a whim, especially not as long as your wife did, so it's definitely a good idea to trust that she had her reasons. Heck, their abusive behavior to you proves just how right she was. Wishing you and your daughter all the best moving forward. Good Op. Keep yourself and your child safe. Op. Please check grandparents' rights laws in your state. Some states would allow her family to have unsupervised time with a child they've never met solely based on the fact that your wife has died. NY is one of the worst states, Florida is one of the best. Find out how to keep them from knowing where you are. If that means you have to move or change you and your kid's name, do it. You listened to your wife, who did everything she could to protect your daughter. You made the right decision. So happy you are feeling the relief and calm. Enjoy raising that precious baby girl. You are not the asshole. Following your wife's final wishes is a great thing. The fact that you do not know what went on in her family makes me even more leery. Protect your daughter. So happy for you and proud of your decision. I just want to respond to one thing. Despite all the reassurance that her parents have changed, she still refused to actually say what went down, so that was not at all convincing for me. Honestly, it seems like your wife's sister forgave the parents for whatever horrors they inflicted, and that even if she did tell you the story, it may not be a truthful one. So trust your wife's judgment, honor her wish, and don't change your mind at all, even if you do one day find out the truth and think it wasn't that big of a deal. Just read both posts for the first time, and I don't think you need the assurance, Op, but fuck yes, did you do the right thing. I work in domestic violence, child welfare law, and I've seen a lot of absolutely awful things parents, grandparents have done to their children that they are never able to heal from. You are doing the best thing you can for your daughter by keeping known abusers out of her life. Her mom suffered enough from them, she doesn't need any of it. Single parenting can be scary, but it sounds like you're doing a great job, and I know I'm a random stranger on the internet, but if you ever wanted to talk more about abusers and the patterns they leave behind, feel free to send me a message. I'd be more than happy to talk you through it. Best wishes. You did the right thing by not letting them control the ceremony. People don't leave families for no reason. Absolutely not. I have a bit of a catchphrase with my best friend and my husband: don't let my mother plan my funeral. She doesn't know me. She knows 8-year-old me. It's like I wasn't supposed to grow at all in 20+ years. You did the right thing. Great update. I don't know if others have offered this advice. I spent about 5 hours contacting the 20 major online white page websites to have my past and current addresses, relatives, and phone numbers removed, for personal stalker reasons. They are legally required to within 1 week if you request it. It's a pain in the butt, but you will feel a lot safer knowing these people can't find your address from simple Googling. I'm concerned that because they were aware of her funeral, they know her new last name and yours, and therefore baby girl's too.